The Monte and the Pharaoh Show is brought to you by...
Because wine is your second favorite four-letter word. California wine, New York attitude. Good fucking wine.
Yeah.
You know, his son is fantastic. I mean, he's fantastic. Wahoo Jr. is a great human being. I really stepped in shit. That's a New York saying for wow. Is this really going on? But yeah, I'm very happy, man. You know, but
That's awesome, though. Congrats.
Thank you. But it snowed. It hasn't snowed in 36 years. And of course, Mike, I didn't just bring, my usual New York jet luck that we suffer through. I brought snow. And I could smell it. I try to tell everybody it's coming. There's no snow shovel plows. There's no salt out here. There's no nothing. I did bring my ice scraper from New York. That saved my ass getting off my shift.
Last week it snowed here, and I moved to Nashville 5 years ago. It snowed here, and my stepdaughter, she just started driving like a couple months ago, and we were like, oh fuck, we don't have a snow scraper. So my fiance was out there with a rubber spatula, scraping the windshield.
Nice.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, when you're shoveling, do you end up getting bat wings from the sweat?
Are you back to the
shoveling?
You're back to the bat wings again?
I'm back to the bat wings. Chubby, do you do a lot of sweating when you're shoveling?
I do. I'm sweating right now. I'm sitting here.
Well, let me help you.
He's got bat wings. He's got bat wings right now.
Our new sponsor, Mando.
There you go.
They'll get rid of those bat wings for you, Chubby. All right. You just spray it in between your sack, get it off your legs, right?
Your sack.
It comes right off.
Sack release spray.
Sack release spray. And the scent is wonderful.
Oh my God.
And if you use the code MATP, you'll get 5% off.
This is real too.
This is real. A lot of things that go on here. And guess what? If you're hanging out with the old lady, whoops, and of course, in typical Monty form,
just like the commercial.
You use this, and you smell really good, man. You put it all over yourself. Possibly, maybe get it licked off. Who knows? But you know what?
Hey.
Mando, MATP.
Mando.
There you go, buddy.
Wow.
Anyway, we're talking about rock and roll.
Nice.
We're talking about the Crew.
Okay.
Where does the Crew rank in all time heavy metal bands?
Listen, I look. It's very fashionable on the internet nowadays to bash Mötley Crüe, and I can see why. They've done some, things obviously that are questionable. Let's leave it at that. But this is rock and roll we're talking about, folks. So don't be such a softie. Mötley Crüe is one of the most important heavy metal bands in the history of heavy metal. Whether you love them or hate them, I don't give a shit. Okay? Mötley Crüe, without those first couple of albums, and I'll go on record to say this, Tommy Lee is the John Bonham of his generation.
Agreed.
If you really think about it, and this is not Neil Peart, they're different, all right, and they're both gods. But I'm talking about booming power. The basic boom of the rhythm of Mötley Crüe is due to Tommy Lee, and Mick Mars is an underrated genius. And those first two albums, especially, before we get to Girls, 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 or Smoking in the Boys' Room and all that other stuff that I could actually live without. Some of it was really good, like Louder Than Hell. I don't know if you know some of these later tunes that were like, I'm like, yeah, okay, that's Crew. Crew had an edge in the beginning, which was aimed at our generation, Mike, the MTV generation. Sure. And to me, when I first saw Mötley Crüe, I said, holy shit, this is the next Kiss. That's what I thought. I was like, wow, there's some makeup going on. These guys are badass. They got a gimmick going on. I'm like, I like these guys. They had a great logo, that pentagram. Yeah, that doesn't mean I approve of Satan. I just think that shit's cool.
It shouts at the devil, not with him. Remember, that was in every one of their interviews.
Nobody's not at one point during that song is he like, I love Satan, so let's all calm down. I agree. I agree. Mötley Crüe, very important.
Now,
Very important.
you know what the most important thing Mötley Crüe taught me?
Go ahead.
This is going to be a dick move right here. That
What?
that truly, and to this day, one of my all-time favorite bands, and I feel this band blows away Mötley Crüe and most of the
All
bands
right.
from that generation.
Okay.
Hanoi fucking Rocks. Hanoi Rocks to this day, their last true album of that lineup, 1984, Two Steps from the Moves. Them
What?
first 4 albums blow away almost everything from the 80s. And it still sounds relevant today, 40 years later.
Unfortunately, Hanoi Rocks, and Mike knows exactly why Hanoi Rocks' lead singer died.
Right.
Considering we're talking about Mötley Crüe, we
Drummer.
all know the history there. You know, right? Correct. Which was the beginning of a derailment. Let's face it, one way or the other, as far as the public eye goes. That's what I remember about that. The death did not do that band any favors, regardless.
You know, I got a strange question for you guys when it comes to that subject, and I have my feelings on it. Number one, do you think Vince did not show enough redemption for what happened that night? And number two, this is a hard question, a strange question, and people might get pissed off at it, but do you think retribution came down on Vince Neil when he lost his daughter?
Absolutely. You know what? I've said this for fucking years, okay?
Whoa. Go ahead.
I feel in the time that it happened, in that mid-'80s, 85, when the court thing and all that shit happened, I feel, yes, he did not, was not very remorseful, and I felt he was pretty much a fucking dick.
Yeah, agreed.
God rest his daughter's soul, and sadly, I feel that's what happened. I felt, it was an eye for an eye, and sadly, he lost his daughter. And even at that point, I still didn't have remorse for Vince because I was still a young, snotty fucking asshole. But over time, I realized this guy has been through hell. He killed somebody that was his friend.
His very good friend, not just a friend. They were like best friends. Yeah, they were best friends.
So he has to live with that. Then his poor young daughter dies. He lives with that, and whatever else he's gone through in his life, and I said, you know what? Like, I think that alone, I personally would not be able to live with those two things on my shoulders. It's a wonder why he's got alcohol as I'm fucking drinking and I have my own problems. But I feel he's I can honestly say about 10 years ago, as I've gotten older and matured, I feel his pain, and I think he finally deserves a pass. Wow.
Jimmy, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking that, as usual, I don't want to sound, I don't know how it will come across, but this is my own truth. I draw lines. I don't have no longer, especially since we got involved in interviewing and doing the show and getting to know the wrestlers that we grew up loving and adoring as television characters that we adored. It's the same concept with rock bands. I hate hearing about the bad stuff, but I have to draw a line in my head. Unless you get too political, like I really don't care for any celebrity that gets too political. Yeah. I do have a drawing line, and I'm still able to listen to their music. So the bottom line to me is that Vince has fucked up a lot, but yeah, I get it. He's a fuck up. Should he have been really punished big time? Yeah, back then, yeah. But were they going to do that?
So
no, there's too much money on riding on the line.
Wait a minute. So Jimmy,
somebody had gotten paid off. Somebody.
Jimmy, are you trying to say that?
I just said somebody got paid off.
No. In regards to Vince Neil,
yeah,
you could still listen to his music and still respect his music, but it's different from, like, let's pull out the wrestling with a Chris Benoit who murders his wife.
Ooh, that's a good question. That's a really good question.
That one you can't forgive.
It's a really good question, and you know my answer because I've always been consistent about this. Evil has different levels of evil, just like good has different levels of good. I know it sounds deep for most of you out there, but it's the truth. There's a difference between those two crimes. One was two friends hanging out and getting drunk. What, you've never done that? I've done that. Oh my God, have I done that? You know, I remember one time me and my best buddy Curtis, and you know him, Mikey Curtis, lived around the damn corner from me. You know, we were drunk as skunks, but we wanted to go see the deer out in Riverhead. And we're driving, and Curtis is like, I think I see 16 lanes. I said, pick the middle one. You know, I mean, we were stupid. We were young. You know, there's a difference between that and Chris Benoit.
What do you think? What do you think, Chubby?
You know, I agree with Pharaoh over there. Like, Vince's was an accident. You know, Chris was not. And actually, I have my own wrestling similarity. First off, I knew Chris and Nancy from the ECW days. And that. Somebody just asked me this the other day on Facebook. That situation, as well as the Eddie Guerrero ones, hit me hard. But the guy that got me into the fucking wrestling business, the Rockin Rebel. I don't know if you guys know him from the early ECW days.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, me and Chuck, I mean, we were friends. We were business associates. You know, he did a lot of stuff when I was promoting shows. For me, I used to rent his license. I knew his girlfriend/wife from my first night of wrestling school. I met her and was friends with her. When they broke up, I used to hang out with her. She was dating one of my friends in the wrestling business. Then she went back to Rebel, and I've been doing podcasting for 12 years. My other show, which is like this, an entertainment show, where I do like hair band people and stuff like that. She used to be one of my sponsors. And so, like, I was very, very close to Chuck and Stephanie. And now you're gonna get me fucking cry now, motherfuckers. The fact of what that fucking piece of shit did to that poor girl. He tortured that poor girl for years, fucking years. And nothing will bring reality and hit you harder when you go to a funeral and you see her in a coffin and they had to rebuild her chest and it was a fucking piece of board there because he shot her fucking chest out. You know, so the people that know Benoit and stuff like that, and you know, fucking burn in hell. I'm sorry, that fucking shit pisses me off. Fucking innocent people were taken.
Can I ask you your thoughts on when Chavo, you know, tried to defend Chris Benoit?
Relating it to the Rebel situation, I can't defend Chuck ever. No defense. You know, I have more of an idea, and people have more of an idea what happened in the Rebel situation compared to the Benoit situation, because there's so many different scenarios and holes, and who knows what happened. But at the end of the day, innocent people were fucking gone that didn't need to be gone. Nancy, Chuck's wife Stephanie, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful human beings. I can't stress enough. And that fucking poor kid, Benoit's son. Oh, come on.
Chubby, let me go a little deeper than, you know, that we're venturing into this. You said you're on social media, on Facebook. Obviously, you see what we see, especially on this channel. I don't know how many people will defend Chris Benoit for his atrocities that he did to his family.
There will be people. People will defend, absolutely.
And what does that make you feel like?
Look, people defended OJ. You know what I mean? I think it's. I mean, it's kind of, as he laughs, it's kind of comical.
It's true. I have to laugh.
You have to laugh.
Yeah, because you know what the alternative is, right, Chub? You know what the alternative is? I'll cry.
Yeah,
I'd rather laugh. You gotta laugh.
Yeah.
How does it make you feel? Is that just coming from the? I love when I read these. The wrestling purists feel that Chris Benoit should still be in the WWE Hall of Fame. Your thoughts?
Stop. I look. There's you can't take away the amazing fucking athlete and worker Chris Benoit is.
True.
No denying. There's no fucking denying.
All true. Yep. Absolutely. Big fan of the wrestling work before.
But I can't. I can't watch his, I just personally can't watch his matches anymore. And when at night I'll be laying in bed and I'll be scrolling, and clips of his matches will come up, and I'll stop and I'll watch, and I'll say, "That motherfucker can work. Boy, could he work in that ring."
Yep.
But then it gets so just clouded by what he did.
Yep.
Well, let's go back to Rockin Rebel, though, who you had an association with. Did you even see that coming, or did you see, like, I've had many guests on the show where they've said they could see Benoit doing, they were not surprised. You saw that with Rebel.
Years prior, before they got married, he fucking held her hostage at gunpoint in a closet. And she still stayed with him because he always would threaten her. If you leave, I'm going to kill myself. If you leave, I'm going to kill myself. Supposedly, that's what happened that night. She was going to leave, and he fucking killed her and killed himself. And they had twin boy and girl. The fucking kids, they heard the gunshots, and they came down and found their parents dead on the sofa. I mean, come on. I think the kids were 7 years old at the time. I think they're about 14, 15 now. Come on. How are those kids ever going to get that image out of their head?
Why was he built that way? You know him. Why was he built that way? What made him that way?
You know what? He was, I just had this conversation with my fiance the other day about a lot of people. Narcissist. Absolute narcissist.
The word.
That word
Yep.
is so important because so many people in our lives are like that, and we didn't know what it is. When you truly learn what that is, and you're around the people. I was married to one for 22 years, so I spot now, like, instantly. I like, as soon as it clicks in my head, I say, "Oh boy, look out!"
Oh, wait a minute. So wait a minute. You don't notice that the Pharaoh's a narcissist? What are you doing there, Chubbs?
What?
I haven't had one inkling yet.
What?
By the way,
we're a half hour in.
By the way, and we're half hour in. We haven't even touched the interview yet. That's the funny thing. Todd Gordon wrote in and he said, "Chubster, where's your sunglasses, bro? Come on."
Now. Todd is God. Where are the sunglasses?
Yo, Todd. I gotta text you. You're gonna piss yourself when I text you this. I just got texted before we went live, Todd. You're gonna pee yourself.